Hello. It's your girl Erica, and welcome to my official YouTube channel. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for liking the video, and also thank you for subscribing and just taking the time to even view my videos. I really appreciate that. I am going to be reviewing Married to Medicine. Of course, this is season 11, and this was episode 6. That particular episode was called Rodeo Reckoning. I just wanted to say that I have been this. I've only done a few reviews. Like I've just done the Married to Medicine season, but I just wanted to say that I'm actually having a good time reviewing and sort of connecting. By doing this. This is something that I wanted to do for a long time. So again, thank you. If you've seen my first video, I think you would have seen that I said that this is actually my first time recording. I just started recording literally on January the 5th. So, again, thank you to everyone who just stopped by just to look at my video. I really appreciate that because this is something new for me and I actually like it. So, I'm going to continue to do it. So, let's get into the review. Like I said, I always have my notes. I follow some of the greats and I have my notes. So, the show opens up, of course. We are seeing the aftermath of Contessa and Dr. Contessa and Heavenly's argument. It appears that most of the ladies half of the ladies have left the dinner and the other ladies stayed. So Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Jackie have gone on. Dr. Contessa, Toya, and Sweet Tea have also left. Quad, Simone, Dr. Simone, and Phaedra have stayed behind. They really wanted to eat their dinner. We see a short conversation with Dr. Contessa, Toya, and Sweet Tea. They actually go back to Contessa's little her room, and they're just talking about what happened. Of course, Contessa is visibly upset. Before I really get into that, I just want to say, of course, there wasn't a whole lot going on in this episode, but I am probably going to talk a lot about how I feel concerning this whole Contessa and Dr. Heavenly rift. But anyway, Dr. Contessa was saying that, she was really upset about what happened. Toya even made mention that, Heavenly doesn't seem happy, or she doesn't seem like she grew up being happy, and she didn't have a close relationship with maybe her family, particularly her mom and now her sister, although her mom is gone now. And one thing that Toya said that was really, really true is that Heavenly, when she gets angry, she becomes lethal. That is very, very dangerous for anyone, not just Heavenly, but for anyone, because you tend to kind of lose control, and Heavenly seems to have lost control. Sweet Tea was saying that Dr. Jackie needs to say a lot more to Heavenly about her behavior. I agree with Sweet Tea. If Dr. Jackie has become that beacon of light in Heavenly's life, she will not be able to control Heavenly. She will not be able to tell her what to do, but she also needs to be honest with her and do it in love. If you are a beacon of light to someone and someone really trusts you and they come to you for guidance and they really respect your opinion, it is your job in a way, and I don't want to use the word job, but you should be sort of telling them when they're right and when they're wrong. We can't always, just because we're friends with someone, we don't need them to pacify us through everything in life. We need to be told, hey, you're wrong. And I'm not sure if Dr. Jackie is doing that. I think she is, but I don't think she's really getting in depth with Heavenly enough to really, that is sort of penetrating her. But anyway, after that, they went back to, of course, Quad, Dr. Simone, and Phaedra, who were having dinner. And they were just saying that everything was really bad. Of course, they're all probably just sort of out of it and in disarray of how all of this happened. Dr. Jackie and Heavenly come back, of course. And Quad immediately tells Heavenly, you were wrong for your mama comment. And Phaedra said, yeah, absolutely, mothers and children should be off limits. It should never go there. We should never go on a trip where security is needed. Of course, Quad is still, kind of hyped up from everything. She still hasn't really expressed herself and how she felt about everything. So Quad really starts up with Jackie saying, Jackie, did you really mean that apology, or is what Toya said about you just sort of pacifying me and giving the apology to me because you really didn't want to hear from me, or you didn't want to deal with me? So Dr. Jackie said that she sincerely apologized. And so Dr. Simone also said the same thing. She said, look, we were fine. We were back, we were trying to connect. Everything was good. She said, I got on the merry-go-round and then we ended up here again. Well, Quad really broke down and said how the ladies hurt her and she didn't want them to ever do that to her again. I understand what Quad was saying. Quad had every right to tell them that, but at the same time, I was saying, what more does Quad want from this group? Quad, I understand that you were hurt, and I didn't want to see Quad cry. Of course, Quad put on the tears. Now she put on, she was sort of giving us what we needed, but um Quad kind of like leaned into the emotional part. I think she was sort of really playing on the emotional part because she knew that the ladies would really, really be a sucker for her tears, so to speak. And I'm not saying that they weren't genuine, but I'm just saying, okay, Qual, we've seen this from you a number of times. Okay, if the ladies have said we're not going to do this to you anymore, we apologize. Like Jackie said, now you have to let it go. If you continue to hold on to it, then that means that you just want to be angry if you're holding on to it. So I'm hoping that this really was the end of this whole Quad versus the ladies saga. Hopefully, they can actually move on and move forward. I don't know um how this group is going to actually move forward. I was looking at my notes. I actually wrote down how Phaedra is so disconnected from this group. Phaedra's comment in her confessional about, well, I don't know what we need to do with Quad. She was kind of right about that. She's on target with that, but I also understand that she doesn't have the same connection and the same history with these girls, so she really doesn't feel it yet. So I think Phaedra's just really out of place with the Married to Medicine ladies. No matter, she's participating, in their events, or she's planning something, she's just really out of the loop. I mean, they could have actually brought back Dr. Alicia. They can bring back Janice from season 4. They can bring back Buffy. They can bring back even Audra. They can bring back any of those ladies and they would fit in much better with this group. But it just seems like Phaedra there is a major disconnect. And so I kind of looked at her, even though she was with the ladies and she agreed that they needed to come back together, I just really didn't feel like she was even really part of the group. Toya did say that they all needed to kind of do their own separate activities. So they all kind of like were doing their own thing the next day. Of course, it was cute to see Dr. Jackie and Simone. Dr. Jackie told Simone she was grateful that she stayed with her for the night, because she was in a little bit of pain. She was kind of playing up the fact that she had fallen. And of course, Simone was just joking around with her. It was nice to see. Like I said before, I've said it in some of my other videos, I really miss seeing Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone together. I know that, there has been some tension there and they're not as close as they used to be, but I really enjoy seeing them together. Phaedra and Contessa went horseback riding, and then Dr. Jackie, Quad, and Dr. Heavenly actually ended up at the pool and they were just talking. Dr. Jackie, of course, was saying that she wanted to do the Med Gala and stuff like that. And so they'll talk more about the Met Gala later, but they were just talking about that. Like I said, it was a slow episode as far as everything because the whole blow up was Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa, and now that it's over, like I said, the girls weren't really hanging out together. I don't think I saw Phaedra, Toya, or Sweet Tea at all. A lot during this show. At the end, they sort of had like a bonfire to end the trip. And I'm glad that this trip is over because these ladies have aged over the course of this trip. They just look tired and worn down. They even look older. I don't know what happened. Of course, we don't know because we weren't there. We just saw the little bit that we got, a little bit of the edited version, what production gave us, but they looked really worn out. So the bonfire, they were sitting around talking. Of course, Toya said, okay, well, who planned this? And so Phaedra said that they all kind of planned it. And they were just like discussing, they were kind of tiptoeing around the issue. And one thing that, like I said, I keep saying in my videos, I have an opposing view, because one thing that Contessa said is that everyone's kind of saying they're sort of playing, I don't want to say dumb, but they're having like Chrissy Snow moments and saying like, well, how did we get here? How did we get here? How did we get here? The same way you've gotten there with Dr. Heavenly and everything else is exactly what happened. Heavenly says something that pushes someone over the edge. Yes, Contessa and Heavenly sort of really clashed. Maybe some of the other ladies have not gone that far, but the question of how we got here has already been answered. And the common denominator is Heavenly Kinds. Heavenly is the one that gets the girls riled up. She's the one that says things. She's the one that has people angry with one another. Heavenly is the one that causes the dissension. And she knows what she's doing, ladies and gentlemen. She knows exactly what she's doing. This is not a Dr. Heavenly bashing session, but the thing about it is, for me, looking at the show over the years, a lot of the things, yes, we know Heavenly has kept the drama going. We know she's kept the Married to Medicine train rolling, but at the same time, some of Heavenly's dysfunction and some of her issues, they come out in her stirring the drama. And then these ladies, it's like a tornado hits them and they don't know how to sort of get out of this tornado of Heavenly. And then when you look at the aftermath, it's like, oh my God, what just happened? Everything is tore up. Nobody's getting along. The group is in the worst place ever. And then everybody's still sitting there like birds chirping around their head, like they don't know what's going on. That's stupid and that's crazy. It is Dr. Heavenly. Heavenly has brought, I don't know, Heavenly needs some work. She does. She needs some work. I don't know what it is about Heavenly. I don't even know how Heavenly feels so comfortable just acting up like that all the time. Most people, as you get older, you don't want to do that anymore. There are people who have had hard knock lives and they have had to fight for everything they ever got. But when they get older, they don't want to have to do that. They want a more peaceful life. And I know that they're on television. I know that some of the drama is, is sort of drudged up and Heavenly sort of gets that ball rolling. But at the same time, too, it is something deep in Heavenly's core. Like I said, I don't know what happened to Heavenly when she was growing up in Miami and she talked about she was in that room with no windows, but something happened to Heavenly, and Heavenly is going to have to get her issues addressed. Aside from the show, aside from anything else, she's going to have to get her issues addressed. I don't even know if even she was that close to her mom. I know her mom was there. I don't know their relationship, and I don't even want to sort of put my mouth on that, but there is something there that Heavenly is going to have to address. We know that Contessa talked about her marriage. We know that Contessa told us everything that was going on with Scott. We saw how Scott was acting. All of us know that. But again, at the end of the day, Heavenly, it is none of your business, because at the end of the day, she stayed. She gave you the information. You were friends with her. You spoke your piece about it. You said exactly how you felt about it, but she stayed. Let it go. Exclamation mark, period. Let it go. You have to let it go. And you cannot go there with Contessa, because if you go there with Contessa, Contessa is going to tell you to square up hole. She's going to say, Contessa's going to deal with you. Period. Contessa's not going to back down this time. She's not going to back down or back away. And so something else has to be done, because it is now affecting the whole group. It's really not Contessa's fault, because Contessa has been gone now for maybe 2 seasons. Or just about 2 seasons now. Well, she was gone for 1 full season, but she left in season 9. But they had some issues in season 10. It's not like they didn't have the issues. So when they were sitting around the bonfire, of course, Sweet Tea kind of wanted to get things going. She wanted Heavenly to take more accountability, but Heavenly wasn't going to do it, and the other ladies weren't going to push Heavenly to do it. What Sweet Tea should have done is just talked about herself and say, "Hey, I want to build a better relationship with some of you. You know, Heavenly and I really don't get along, and you know we might not ever get along. But I want to establish something better with the rest of you." Sweet Tea should have apologized for herself or just spoke for herself. I don't think that she needed to just try to harp on Heavenly and what Heavenly needed to do, because it just wasn't going to work. Again, I'm with Contessa. These ladies pacify Heavenly, and they're not going to say anything. I dare to say that these women are scared of her, but I know that everyone would disagree, but they let Heavenly be Heavenly. So at that point, I was just like, Sweet Tea, don't even say anything. Like, don't, unless you're talking about yourself, just move on. So anyway, we get past all of that. Like I said, it wasn't a whole lot going on, but again, that's just where we are. Cecil, Dr. G, and Scott go they go for an ATV. They get on ATVs and have a good time. You know, they do the male bonding thing, and they go and ride ATVs while Dr. Eugene, and he asks Damon to come over, and they just have drinks and cigars. So the guys, of course, we see them, sort of riding the ATVs, and then they kind of, I guess once they finish the ride, they kind of sit on the ATVs and they're discussing, how they think the ladies are doing and stuff like that. And, of course, again, Dr. G is not being 100% honest about his true feelings. Cecil and Scott are trying to feel him out. Of course, Scott has had his own bouts with Heavenly as well. But they're all kind of just basically saying, like, how are you going to deal with it? The only thing that Dr. G really said is that he's not here for Heavenly and her antics. He knows that they've had some issues, but he's really not here for it. That was all he said. Dr. Eugene invites Dr. Damon over, and again, Dr. Damon was acting oblivious to what Dr. Eugene was kind of asking him. I know that he was sort of tiptoeing around the situation. Dr. Eugene respects Dr. Damon so much. You can really see that. And you can you've always seen that throughout their relationship on the show. I don't think Dr. Eugene did it just to be nosy. Of course, I really feel like production wanted them to have this conversation. But Dr. Eugene was tiptoeing around Damon, and he was trying to say, I think Dr. G feels a little dismissed and things have been said, and Dr. Damon was just acting like, okay, well, he can come to me, or, did he say something to you? And Dr. Eugene said, no, I'm giving my opinion about what I think or how I believe that Dr. G feels. And Damon was just sort of sitting there oblivious to, again, the P word, because that's what all of this is surrounding. It's not about any cheating comments. It's not even about the abuse thing. It is strictly about the P word. It's like a culmination of things, but that actually that's it right there. For Dr. G, it is actually the fact that Dr. Heavenly called him the P word. So I'm trying to figure out, why is Dr. Damon acting slow in this moment? And I think Dr. Eugene was even looking at him like, you do know that things have been said. And again, they're talking around it. And I'm trying to figure out, did production tell them not to actually say what it is or what it was? Because at this point, it should be clear and concise. This is what we're talking about. Dr. Heavenly disrespected Dr. G by calling him that particular P word. And this is what they need to be saying. They're not saying that. They're talking all around it. Yeah, well, Heavenly's been saying this. She said some things, some unfavorable things. Wait a minute, what are we doing? Why is it not being discussed? The same way, if Heavenly can drag everybody on YouTube and say whatever she wants to say, then why is it not being said what she really said? Hello, somebody. Can somebody help me with that? I'm trying to figure out. So to me, that conversation was pointless. To me, their whole interaction, okay, it was nice. I heard Eugene say that the bourbon was good. And Dr. Damon said he enjoyed coming over just to sit and talk with Eugene. Okay, fine. But really the conversation was pointless because at this point Damon's just walking around like he's not going to really accept accountability for it. So we'll move on from there. That really just had no merit whatsoever. Period. So of course at the end, they get back. Everyone left. I mean, we're out of it at this point. I'm out of it. I'm sure some of the other viewers, we're out of it. The trip is over and everything is good. They get back home, so the scenes open up. Ashton and Avery were washing Toya's car. Dr. Heavenly was back in her office, in her dental office, and she was. I think her celebrity client T.S. Madison was there, and she introduced T.S. Madison to Zachary, and T.S. Madison was actually flirting with Zach. So that was their scene. Phaedra was at Willie Watkins' funeral home. I was surprised. I didn't even know Phaedra was still involved with that. I know that was a big thing for her on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I didn't know that she was still actually doing that. So she's still involved with that. So we saw a little scene with her there, and then Quad and King, her man King, were joking around. So it looks like they were in her bedroom and they were kind of joking around. So that was really about it. And then we fast forward just a little bit, to Dr. Contessa and Scott. I guess they're having a basketball quarters. They're having some work done at their house. And their youngest daughter, Layla, was out there. She grabbed the wrong basketball, and they were kind of joking around. Well, not joking around, but they were kind of conversing with her. And then they sit down and they sort of start having a discussion. So Scott kind of mentioned that Heavenly, he said, "Hey, doctor." He said, no, I'm sorry. Scott said that Curtis called him because of what Dr. Jackie had told him. And so, Scott was saying, hey, what happened, this, that, and the other. So, of course, Contessa just went into her whole thing about what happened. And also, let me just bring this point up too. I realized on Dr. G's jacket, and it just hit me. I saw on Dr. G's medical lab coat, the medical coat, it said psychiatry and neurology. So yeah, Dr. G, yeah, calling someone the P word, and he's a neurologist. I mean, he has background with both. Yeah, he has serious credentials. So that it just hit me about that. Yeah, calling somebody the P word, I can't shake that. But anyway, yeah. So Contessa was starting to tell Scott about what happened, and she didn't say anything about what she said. Maybe they had that conversation. I'm not sure, but Dr. Contessa mentioned that Heavenly mentioned her mom, and Scott was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that." Contessa was really, really angry about that. And I think she was more or less hurt about that. Mentioning someone's mom is a big no-no. That's just a big no-no. Of course, we know it sounds so elementary. It sounds so sort of kiddie-ish, and so immature and petty. But again, like I said, there are people grown people, and their parents have had illnesses. Some people don't even have their parents with them anymore. So it's a lot to say your mama. Okay. We know Heavenly's been doing that. Like I said, it goes back to the days with Mariah. Like I said, thank God, Miss Lucy, Miss Lucy's still probably talking trash, all of that to this day. I don't know how she's doing, but I'm just saying Miss Lucy is still alive. Whether someone's mom is still alive or not, that is a touchy subject for most people, because most people love their mothers. You know what I'm saying? So for Heavenly to do that, that was kind of bad, especially knowing that Dr. Contessa's mom passed away from cancer. Not good. So then, of course, they went into it, and, Dr. Heavenly was, of course, Contessa was saying that Dr. Heavenly was still saying that Scott was abusive and this, that, and the other. And of course, Contessa she stayed with her husband. She's going to smooth it out. She's going to make everything sound good. They could have went to hell and back, but Contessa is going to make it sound wonderful and great, as if it were a cakewalk. She loves Scott. They stayed together. So the abuse comments have to come to an end. They have to cease. If that is Heavenly's opinion of Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott's marriage, she can have that opinion, but she can't continue to just keep saying it, because Contessa stayed, whether that is true or not. She stayed, and she wanted her family. She fought for her family, however whatever that meant for her, and they're still together. So Scott was saying, well, he doesn't care about what's being said about him and stuff like that. So he was just telling her, basically, going forward, you have to kind of chill out. You can have conversation with her, but just keep it surface, or whatever the case may be. And that is what's going to have to happen, because if Contessa's going to be on this show and she's going to continue to be a friend of, or whether she comes back full time next season, they will be around each other. So something has to give, because they cannot continue to fight like that, or even just have that tension. We wouldn't even hardly be able to watch the show. So at the end of the show, we see Dr. Jackie again. She had already mentioned that she's planning the Met Gala, or the second annual Met Gala, and Phaedra is actually her co-chair for the event. Well, the event planner comes to Jackie's house, and then Phaedra shows up late as usual. But that's Phaedra. So they were just kind of discussing everything, and Phaedra was just kind of saying she's a little bit behind. Now, some people work well under pressure. Some people can get the job done at the 11th hour, and it works out perfectly. Dr. Jackie has that type A personality, and she wants everything done up front. She wants to know exactly where they are, what they're going to have to pay, what they need to do to make this Met Gala a success. I am like Dr. Jackie. I definitely cannot wait till the last minute. Like, you got to give me something. You got to let me know where you at, girl. Like, what's up? But Phaedra said she had it under control, and she even said that she believes that they could raise $100. Jackie was taken aback a little bit, like, okay, girl, that's a big number. Jackie's number was more or less like 25,000. Phaedra said they could do 100,000. And it was so funny, because Phaedra even said before that, just a little bit before that, Phaedra said that she had 73 unread text messages. Like, oh my God, how do you have so many unread text messages on your personal phone like that? Like, oh my God. Like, of course, so Phaedra is a Bravo reality star, TV star. You know what I'm saying? Of course, she has hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers. She has so many things going on. So I'm sure, she is a businesswoman. I'm sure she gets a lot of things, people calling and so many things going on. But 73 unread text messages? Woo, like, lady, are you checking your phone at all? I guess, like I said, because just ordinary people we probably don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. But anyway, that was kind of like alarming to me. Like, girl, do you look at your phone? Like, what's going on? But anyway, Phaedra said that she was going to get the $100,000. She said she knows some big donors, and she's going to get that ball rolling. And Jackie was sitting there like, okay, girl, I hear you, but don't set me up. And Phaedra's like, you don't know who I am, and you don't know who I know. I'm Phaedra Parks, and I'll get this done. So I guess we will see next week if it all comes together. As we saw the previews, the actual Met Gala will occur next week. So we will see if Phaedra was able to keep her word. We will see if the Met Gala is a success. Like I said, overall, the episode, it was okay. Like I said, it was sort of like the aftermath of everything that happened, but there wasn't a whole lot going on. There was a lot, but there wasn't a whole lot. And so the only thing that you could really talk about is Dr. Contessa and Heavenly. And if you weren't really talking about that, there was really nothing else to talk about, because, other than that, all the ladies and their issues, they can work those out, but it's still really centered around what really kind of almost tore the group up, or could have ruined the trip, so to speak. So that was it. But I hope that it was a short review, or at least I think it's a short review. But anyway, thank you so much for supporting me. I really appreciate your help. I am going to start doing some other things. But this was just to sort of get my feet wet, and to kind of get me acclimated, and just to kind of see if I even enjoy doing it. And it's okay. I really do. I really do enjoy it. So thank you for, like I said, stopping by. Please like the video. Please subscribe to my channel. Even if you didn't like the video, even if you just could say, hey, keep doing your thing or whatever, whatever. Just say hello. Do that. I would really appreciate that because again, this is my sixth time filming a video. So I would really appreciate if you would just sort of, let me know that you stopped by. If not, I still appreciate you anyway. So that's it. I'm gonna wrap this up until next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. If you're on the East Coast, be safe. All of us, are being hit. Most of us on the East Coast are being hit with snow at this time. So just be safe, stay in, stay warm, and get you some rest. But other than that, everyone else, thank you so much. Take care of yourself. And I'll see you next time. Bye.